Hi, good morning everybody. It's actually a little bit early in the morning here, so not super early, but it's earlier. I haven't put my hair up yet, so you get to see my hair down this week. But I'm 14 weeks now, and I'm feeling pretty good. I didn't get up on time this morning. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but I've gotten up on time this week otherwise, so I'm really proud of myself. Not as early as I got up pre-pregnancy, but early enough to be up before the kids, which has been really helpful. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still having some bouts of nausea that are mostly induced by stuff like bad smells, or last night there was this big fat fly that decided to die, and I had to have Scott come and take care of that. I was like, I could not handle that. One of the not great things about spring is flies start appearing. But anyways, so otherwise though, I really feel quite good. I still feel a little bit fatigued overall, but it doesn't feel debilitating. I think probably the most exciting thing for me is that I was able to find the baby's heartbeat with the fetoscope. I listened, I'm pretty dedicated with listening, but I listened all over. Like I can feel like the outline of where my uterus is or my womb is, and so I kind of just listen all around in there, kind of just systematically going around with the fetoscope. And I actually meant to bring the fetoscope over here, so maybe I'll grab that real quick. Hang on. Okay, sorry, forgive also my messy room. But anyways, okay, so this is the fetoscope that I've been using. And so I just use this. This is the end that you use. This would, like, a midwife would put her head on it like this, but obviously if you're the pregnant one, you can't do that. So I just hold that with my hand, and then this goes in your ears like a regular stethoscope. You can see that it kind of faces at an angle, so you put it so that the outward angle is going out toward your ears, which I think a lot of people don't realize that. So, unless you're a healthcare worker or a midwife or something. But anyways, so if you get one, I don't know that this particular one is available anymore, but I got this for like $20 on Amazon when I was pregnant with Sadie. But anyways, so I listened systematically, and I was able to hear the baby's heartbeat last night. I thought that I heard it pretty faintly. I wasn't certain. So I listened again, like in that same spot, and thought that I caught it again. And so I just moved, the bell a little bit, and then I was able to hear it. It was pretty faint. Like, it's nothing like listening with a Doppler. But it was very definite. One of the things I like to do is I like to listen to my heartbeat first. I also like listening to the uterine arteries, which you can hear down kind of deeper in your pelvis on either side. But it's only been in the last couple of weeks that I've been able to hear those. But just hearing those kind of helps you listen for the pattern of a heartbeat, and also your heartbeat is obviously at the rate of your heart, and the pelvic or the uterine arteries whoosh at the rate of your heartbeat. So it helps you to differentiate between yours and the baby's. So, and then I heard the baby's, and it was definitely the baby because it was so fast. It was really faint, and I don't feel like I'm terribly good at counting fetal heartbeats yet anyways, manually. Just because it's so fast, I can do like an adult pulse, and I'm getting better because I'm getting a lot of practice on newborn babies, counting their pulse rate. But it's still very hard, and with it so faint, it was like I was having to strain just to hear it. So I didn't try counting or anything. I just know that it was, it was fast. It felt like it might have been a little bit faster than it was when we listened with the Doppler 2 weeks ago, which it was 152 then. And it felt like it was either there or maybe a little bit faster. So anyways, it was exciting. I'll probably try and listen every day from now on. This is a little earlier than I heard with Sadie. This video is a little bit late, so I'm about 14 and a half weeks now, and it was 15 weeks when I heard with Sadie. So that's a little earlier. I'm also not confident that I'll find it every day, but once I found Sadie's, I was able to find hers pretty well from that point on, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to hear it pretty well. So I actually made some notes on what I wanted to cover today, so let me make sure that I'm going to cover everything. Okay. Let's see, signs and symptoms. That's what I wanted to cover next. So like I said, I'm still having a little bit of queasiness. Of course, it's called morning sickness. For me, it's never been in the morning. It's always in the evening that it's worse, and even into the night. Like if I'm up late at night, it gets bad. But I feel like it's minimizing. Like I said, it's definitely now tied to things like bad smells or something that I think is yucky or whatever. My appetite is still really weird. I'm really hoping that I'll start to feel hungrier because I'm at the point now where I want to start building up to the regular brewer diet. But there's still times we have been eating breakfast earlier, which is good. But I'm still not really wanting a morning snack. I am wanting an afternoon snack most of the time, so I need to make sure that I get that, like on afternoons, like Monday afternoons when I'm teaching, because I teach phone classes for Mama Baby Birthing and Smart Mama Happy Baby, and that takes my entire afternoon. And there's often not, there's not time for me to get up and go for a snack between those two classes, especially because I teach Mama Baby Birthing first, and I get so many questions on that class. So there's just not time. So I need to be conscious of that and make sure like I bring a snack in, that I've prepared a snack beforehand or something, that I bring it in with me when I sit down to teach. I'm hoping that I feel like my appetite's good and I'm going to be able to eat more of the brewer diet. I'm definitely having cravings, very pronounced cravings. It was things like pizza, and I think we ate enough pizza, Scott made pizzas, so it would be healthier. That one's kind of passed. I've been craving sushi like mad lately. We can talk about the merits or demerits of eating sushi or something during pregnancy because, it's raw fish is supposed to be a no-no. But anyways, that's what I've been wanting and thinking about incessantly. But yeah, so cravings are very definite. But I'm not really feeling like I have lots of aversions. The only thing I don't really want, interestingly, this is ironic, I guess, is rice. But like rice and sushi is fine, but the thought of like beans and rice or rice in a soup, like a chicken and rice soup, that's fine. But the thought of like beans and rice or something like that, no, I don't want that. So last night I actually made chili for our family, which was really good. And I served everybody else's on rice, and I actually had Cassidy serve the rice because I didn't even want to have anything to do with it. I asked her, would she just put the rice in the bowls, but none in mine. So I just ate the chili and everybody else had their chili on rice. So that's like, it's an interesting thing going on. The other big thing right now is dreams. I don't know if I've really talked about them yet, or I might have mentioned them, but they're very pronounced. Like one of the reasons I didn't get up this morning is because I was having a dream that was really vivid, and it was a pleasant dream. And when my alarm went off, I got up, went to the bathroom, I came back and laid down in bed and thought about the dream. But one of the things that is a definite theme in my dreams, which is interesting, they have a theme, is houses. Like we're moving or transitioning to a new house. The dream last night was interesting because there was moving to a new house, and then there was also like a business that we owned, which is weird because we do own a business, but not a brick and mortar business. We were running out of our house, but in this dream we owned like a business and we were remodeling the building for the business. And then there was another building where there was like some sort of employee meeting or something held for the business, and that building was being remodeled. And all the houses are like that we moved to are big rambling houses. It's like a definite theme, like renovations or rambling houses. So it's really interesting. It almost makes me want to go, look up a book on dreams because this has been a pretty consistent theme. I can't remember in another pregnancy having dreams that have a consistent theme to them. And like in my normal non-pregnant life, I don't have dreams that have a consistent theme really. One thing that I have had consistently throughout pregnancy, just because dreams get more vivid, is I've had nightmares, and sometimes those nightmares usually involve like exes, like ex relationships and stuff, especially from my first marriage. And I actually prayed pretty intentionally that that wouldn't happen this time because they really suck. It's like there's like no worry or danger or anything from that relationship now. So it's like I want my subconscious to just let it go. And actually I feel like, and I actually asked like my, a group of ladies like, that I fellowship with, would they pray particularly for that for me? And I don't know if it was like the power of the collective prayer or what, but that hasn't come back. And like these house and business and rambling building dreams are all like involving my family now. So it's just really interesting, really weird, crazy vivid dreams. I mean, I've had some others, but I find it interesting that this theme keeps popping up. So that's kind of what's going on with my signs and symptoms. I do feel like the first trimester symptoms are thankfully lessening, and the dreams are probably the big thing going on now. I definitely don't feel like I've got the second trimester like energy or anything. I have noticed, like I shared before, like my nails, which don't look as good this morning, but are definitely growing faster, definitely noticing hair changes. I don't have to shampoo as often, which is one of the perks of pregnancy. So those things are definitely happening, and those are good things. So that's what's going on with signs and symptoms. As far as appointment updates, I didn't have a midwife appointment, but in our county, we have a program where a nurse can come and visit you throughout pregnancy and also throughout your baby's first year. And that was really helpful to me with Sadie. We had a lot going on during my pregnancy with Sadie. Scott was in the process of being laid off because his company was purchased by a larger company. The bank was, merged, really hostile takeovered. But it was really stressful, and we hadn't made a lot of connections in our community yet. We were fairly new, and so to moving out of town and into more of a rural community. And so having the nurse come out really helped me in that pregnancy, just because she listened, even though I knew, all the pregnancy information that she's going to bring me. I run a pregnancy website. I'm a student midwife, so, I knew all that stuff, but just her there for emotional support and just to listen to me was really helpful. So I signed up for that again this year, this time, even though, we're in a better place. We have a relatively stable business. And Scott's here providing support because he's working in the business with me. And we also have a much greater community that we've made out here. Like I've got a ladies' Bible study, and we've met another family with a bunch of kids that we've become, pretty good friends with. And we've actually built a pretty good community at our library. There's a little library in our town, and the librarians love my family. So I feel like I've got a lot more support from the community overall. And we've made, pretty good friends with one of our neighbors too. But it's still nice. So she came out last week, and we just talked about pregnancy stuff, like into first trimester, getting into the second trimester stuff. I actually felt good by one of her handouts. I'm always talking to ladies about how important it is to eat in pregnancy and not worry about weight gain, but I actually find that hard to do myself in these later pregnancies where I do gain more weight. And so seeing her little thing that said it's normal to gain 3/4 to 1 pound a week at this point in pregnancy actually made me feel good, even though intellectually I know that having that underscored was helpful to me. Even though I haven't gained as much this pregnancy as I did with Sadie's or Honor's pregnancies. So that's nice, but I know for sure it's going to start, especially since I've been eating more carbs. But it's not a bad thing, and I have to remember that. It's good for the baby. I want to grow a healthy baby. So anyways, just chatting with her was really nice. A lot of fun. We talked a lot. She even asked me for things like, she gave me a handout on environmental toxins and everything. And she's like, what do you tell your students about this kind of stuff? And so that was a lot of fun. So I enjoyed having her come out, but we didn't really do anything. Like we didn't listen to the baby or anything like that. It was more just talking. And it's a lot of support. During pregnancy, it's just mostly emotional support and education. I feel like it's really good for young moms or first-time moms, or, obviously I'm an 8th-time mom, and I think it's really good for me. But it's a really good program, and I'm grateful that we have it. When the baby actually comes, the nurse does more, like she'll weigh the baby and all of that stuff, which is a lot of fun. And she gives you like developmental information that's always fun to know, like baby should be doing this and that and the other, and it's always really nice. And she'll actually do like little developmental rating scales, which I thought was fun to do with Sadie. So anyways, it's a good program, and I enjoyed her visit. Let's see. Yeah, oh, and we talked about like the baby size. She had a handout about baby sizes, which is always fun to look at too. So random thoughts. I've had some issues with anxiety lately, just like thinking about the baby mostly, like is my baby going to be healthy? Is my baby going to be okay? I think it's important to acknowledge that all moms kind of worry about those things, even And one of the things that I've noticed with moms who are having subsequent babies, like especially 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, is like you start to wonder like if you've gotten lucky and your luck's going to run out, so this time there's going to be a problem with the birth or there's going to be a problem with the baby. And it's really kind of irrational. It's not logical, but it's there. And so there's that thought, I've had 7 beautiful, healthy children. One's got probably ADD. We haven't ever gotten him diagnosed, but he's quirky. And one has had significant medical needs early on, but were things that we were able to overcome. And the only really lasting thing is that he's still quite tiny for his age. I hope he catches up when he hits puberty. But, so we've made it through relatively easily without a lot of special needs or anything like that. So you kind of wonder, is it going to run out? Is my baby going to be healthy? And like we aren't going to do an ultrasound. And so there's some anxiety there, even though I don't feel like ultrasounds can really give assurance. We've had 2 cases lately that, with my students or with women that we're seeing in the prenatal clinic where they've had ultrasounds that showed something might be slightly abnormal, and then the follow-up ultrasound, everything looked good, and there's a lot of anxiety there. And then there's moms who have an ultrasound and it doesn't catch something. So, those things are realities, and I try and remember that when I'm feeling anxious, is that there are no guarantees. And like for us, we're coming from a faith-based perspective. So for me, I always try and tell myself God has a plan for this baby, and it doesn't, what's going on with me doesn't really matter. My job is to be there for this baby to come through me and to support this baby for the plan that God has for him or her. Some anxiety too about, is it a boy or a girl? And, we won't find that out either. But some anxiety about that, especially as the ladies in my due date club are starting to get excited, because at 14 weeks here, a lot of times you can find out at 14 weeks. And so most of them are either finding out or they're kind of planning to find out in the next few weeks, and we're staying team green, and sometimes that's a little bit hard. It's especially hard for me when people make guesses or say, oh, I know that the baby is this or that, because I don't really want that at all. I just, like with Sadie, we didn't find out, and I felt like I bonded really strongly with her just listening to the heartbeat and feeling her from the inside, and also using my fingers, asking my midwife to help me feel her from the outside and learning that. So it was a really empowering pregnancy. I really bonded with her. It didn't matter that I didn't know she was a she until I lifted her up and said, it's a girl. So I just, I don't want that. I don't want people's predictions. I don't really want their opinions. I don't tell them that. I just nod and smile or whatever. But I wish people wouldn't do that. I just really do. Because it's like I don't want to know. I just want to enjoy this pregnancy, and I want my surprise when I lift my baby up and I look for myself. So anyways, that's like a me thing. Not everybody has that hang up, but that's one of mine. Other things that are going on, I'm trying to get the family back on schedule. Kind of not working out this morning, but I feel like we did pretty well the last 2 days. Not right back on the schedule, but getting things moving more smoothly with morning wake up times and getting things organized and cleaned up so that we can do better. Now, I kind of feel silly because we have a week of school and then we're taking 2 weeks off of school for our spring break and also for Passover. So, we're going to end up not really on a schedule, but I actually have a break week schedule that we can kind of follow that's similar, especially for the little ones, to our normal school week schedule. And I'm going to do that. Another thing, though, is that we've got spring weather coming, and if my little ones want to play outside all afternoon because it's warm, I have no problem with that. So to me, that's worth breaking the schedule, but especially in the morning during school time and getting everybody up and going, I'm trying to move back to that schedule. Otherwise, it's just me trying to juggle life, like trying to juggle the business with homeschooling and especially with my midwifery academics. I really want to move those along and actually finish up. So that's something I want to try and prioritize better as I'm in the second trimester and feel like I have more energy. So my goals kind of for the coming week are to continue getting up on time. Today was an exception. I want to start taking a daily nap and at least laying down and listening to my pregnancy affirmation track, which I can talk about in a future, kind of in the future. And then I also want to print my pregnancy diet chart from Informed Beginnings, which I actually bought the license to be able to use for my mama baby birthing students, but I really like it. We don't have a color printer, so I have to remember to take the file, the PDF, on a flash drive to the library and ask the librarians to print it out for me. It's two-sided, so I'll have them, I don't know that the library has a duplex printer, so I'll have them print both pages and then I'll laminate them together. We do have a little laminator we use for homeschool stuff. And then I can hang that on the fridge and like cross things off or put it in my midwifery bag and carry it with me. The double side for each exchange in the brewer diet has like what would work for that box. So for the protein exchanges, it says like an ounce of beef, an ounce of chicken, 1 egg, a quarter cup of beans. You know, those are all roughly equivalent in protein amounts. The egg is a little bit less. But all of those are about 7 to 9 grams of protein. The egg is 6 grams of protein. But it gives you the protein exchanges, and then like for the whole grain group, it gives you the exchanges, and for the fats, it gives you the exchanges and all of that. I really like it. I've just used like a regular checklist in my other pregnancies, but I like this. It almost looks like a calendar, and each exchange is a colored square, and they're color coded. Like the dairies are white. I think the protein is like a cream color. The leafy greens are green. And I kind of like the idea, and I want to try that. So I want to get that printed off this week. That's one of my big goals, is to actually remember to do that. I might try and do that on my way. I'm going to go into prenatal clinic this afternoon, and I might stop at the library on my way because I have books in too. So anyways, those are kind of my goals for the week and what's going on with me and how I'm feeling. I'm going to go ahead and show you my belly now. I'm wearing an undershirt that's tucked in, so I have to untuck that. Like I said last week, I definitely feel like I'm showing. And I'm feeling kind of happy about that now. Like, it's kind of exciting to me. Before I was like, I don't want to be showing. But now, I don't like the way that this is a maternity skirt. And I don't like the way it kind of like puts that bump in the bump. I feel like it looks much smoother and nicer without that. But like I said, I've got an undershirt, so I got to pull that up. But there's the baby bump. Like, still my uterus, like when I'm laying down, I'm feeling it like a finger breadth below my belly button. So up here is pretty much a bump just because of displaced stuff and like mama belly leftover. Sorry, that was my Star Trek underwear there. But so, you know, there's a little bit of a baby belly. I feel like it looks especially nice when I have a shirt over it. It looks more round like a baby belly and less like, you know, a mama belly. But anyways, so that's what things are looking like this week, and exciting things this week, starting to feel the baby's heartbeat, feeling movement here and there, but really not consistently, so I'm hoping that I start feeling that consistently too. But otherwise, things are good. I will talk to you next week, and hope you have a blessed week.